Okay, I'm just gonna say it. One of the worst parts about running in sandals is how loose they feel. If you're coming from a shoe, you don't get that snug feeling that you're probably used to. And if you've been running in sandals for a while, sometimes it gets annoying when the sandal is twisting underneath your foot, especially when you're on technical terrain. Maybe that's a problem that's more of a personal thing, but I think a lot of people could relate to that. But what would happen if you combined a lot of grip, a moisture wicking footbed, some very tightly woven smooth laces, and added a little bit of extra stability on the instep and outstep? I think you'd get something like this. This is the Nalu Explorer, a lightweight, minimal sandal built for adventure. I've been having a lot of fun in this sandal, and I think you will too. But there's one thing about it that drives me a little bit nuts. Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out what that is. Hello, my name is Nick. This is the Jackalope Adventure Club, where we talk about minimal style running, sandals. We do reviews and comparisons to help you make a better decision on your next pair of running sandals. If you're interested in that kind of content, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and let's keep growing this tiny channel. And I want to say a big thank you to everyone that has hit subscribe. We've passed 100 subscribers at the time of this video, which is super cool, and it's only uphill from here. I do want to expand into other things, not just the sandal reviews, but only in time. So please hit that subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Oh, and a quick note. Nalu did not send me these sandals. All opinions are my own. I purchased these with my own money. Let's get into the video. Okay, so starting out, we like to get a little bit of the anatomy of the sandal just so we know what we're talking about for the rest of the video. We have a 7mm Vibram NuFlex outsole, very grippy, a very smooth, tacky a little bit, microfiber footbed on the top of here. On the footbed, we have some very tightly woven molded laces holding everything down. My men's size 10 or 43 and European sizing come in at 4 ounces or 113 grams. So these are lightweight, but they're on the durable side there too. Oh, and one more thing. These sandals are out of the Czech Republic. So if you're over in that neck of the woods, here you go. Okay, we're just gonna break down each of the components of the sandals a little bit more so you have an idea of what it's like to run in the Nalu Explorer. Starting out with the outsole. This is Vibram NuFlex. It's 7mm thick. I think that is a fantastic thickness. You get a lot of good ground feel, but not so much that things are painful. I know exactly what's underneath my foot, but I don't feel like I have to really slow down in the sandal at all. Now, NuFlex might sound familiar to you, and that's because the Shamas also use that, but we have a different tread pattern, so I'll get some close-ups so you can see. But this is a more nubby style tread pattern that I think works really well. The reason for that is that with all the little nubs, there's just a lot of flex points on the bottom of this sandal, so it feels very natural. I do wish that its durability was a little bit more, but that's the trade-off, because the other awesome thing about that NuFlex is the grip. On concrete, cement, wet or dry, this holds up really well. I never felt like I was lacking any traction. On natural surfaces like grass, mulch, that kind of thing, it held up really well. I didn't get a chance to take these on a dirt trail, but I would definitely not be afraid to. So another interesting thing about the Nalu is the foot shape. So compared to most running sandals, you'll see that in the toe, they kind of flare out on both sides. Nalu, on the other hand, goes up and it's a lot straighter up the medial side, up the inside of the sandal, and then you have a big curve around the outside. And that actually works really well for these sandals because they're not twisting underneath your foot, so you're not falling off. To me, when wearing these and running, they felt like the silhouette of the sandal was exactly where my foot was. So any kind of nimble, technical terrain, these would probably be really good. The reason that works so well though, and I will touch on it later, is these wings on the side of the sandal that stop it from twisting on you. But I think that's all there is for the outsole. It works really well. Oh, there are some holes on the side for some drainage. I never had any issue with water or those getting clogged up. I also didn't take them through super deep, nasty mud. But they're a nice little accent touch. Next, we are going to talk about this moisture wicking microfiber footbed. This is the second pair of sandals I have that have a microfiber footbed, and I'm really starting to love this material, and I wish more companies would offer it as an option. If you like the natural feel of a leather, but you don't want it to be super slippery when it's wet, this is a great option for that. It's also been very durable. It's definitely showing stains and things like that just from running, sweating in it. But performance-wise, it's holding up really well. I haven't had any issues with hot spots, blisters, anything like that. This is also where I'll touch on these wings. So Nalu sandals have wings on the outside, the lateral side, and the medial side, the inside over here. And this stops the sandal from twisting. One issue I have when running in sandals, and it's not a big issue, is that the sandals always, if my foot's here, they always want to twist underneath my foot. With these wings, these sandals don't want to twist like that, or if they do, they're just held in place. And that makes a big difference. Of all the sandals I've tried, these probably feel the closest to exactly where my foot is, or the most natural when I'm running. I don't find these wings restricting. They are flexible. They're just an extension of that outsole and the footbed. They've been holding up really well. This is also an attachment point for the laces going through. I don't have any cracks or tears or anything like that. And I've had to really crank down on these laces, which is something else I'll touch on in a later part of the video. But they hold up really well, and I am a big fan of that. I wish more companies actually would offer something like this, because I think it just works really well compared to just a skinny post or something like that. I think a wider base works really well. Lastly, we're going to touch on these laces. So these are very tightly woven lacing system here. It's very smooth. Of all the laces I've had, these probably feel the thickest and also the smoothest. It's really interesting. They just feel really good. We have a Nalu logo that's kind of, I don't know what you would call that. It's not engraved or stitched, but it's like a rubber material. If you'd like heat transferred, something like that, sublimated on top of there. So no issues with chafing or hot spots anywhere on the laces. And I was really cranking these down for a while, and I'll touch on that in a second. When it comes to the toe post, compared to other sandals that are more, they're actually kind of like a button, like what you'd find on jeans. This is like its own thing. So it's more of a clamshell that comes down and pinches down. I do have some close-ups of that so you can see the little hinge there, but I haven't had any issues with that. No blisters between the toes or anywhere else on the sandal. We have a nice metal buckle here on the back. I haven't had issues with that rubbing, chafing, or being uncomfortable. There's maybe 1 or 2 runs where I really tightened these down that I felt it on my ankle, but I was able to adjust. We do have some generous lace here on the back. If you wanted to cut it off, you could do that. And then on the inside, there's a double loop here to keep these laces in place. One downside of these laces is that I could not get this heel strap to sit nicely. Every time I was running, it always wanted to fall down, and I got really frustrated with these sandals because of that and was choosing to wear other ones. I finally took some time, went back to wearing the Nalu sandals, took time to relace them, and it is better, and I can handle that feeling. But this definitely wants to come down. When I first put these on and they weren't quite laced right, it almost was coming off. That's how loose they were. But since adjusting that, and actually all the clips that you're seeing are when they were really tightened down, and they were really tightened down, I still have no tearing in any of these points to the outsole and the footbed, and then also no blisters or hot spots. Right now they're in a looser configuration, which is working, and I just accept the fact that they're gonna feel like, you know, they're below the half line on my heel. So if that's something that you're okay handling, or you're okay tightening these down to a point where it's probably a little bit beyond comfortable, they'll definitely work for you. Nalu, if you're listening to this video, if you could make a Velcro version of these, you know, a Velcro strap here across the foot and here, that would be awesome and probably one of the best sandals ever. Or if there's just a way to get like an extra support strap, kind of like Earth Runners and Shamas have an extra strap to kind of beef up the back area, I think that would help. Or even if there was some rubber on it, like the Xero shoes or like on the Panta sandals, that would be helpful. So that's the one part of these sandals that falls a little bit short for me, but I don't think it's enough to say that these are a bad sandal or not worth your time or worth checking out. Okay, so we are gonna film the second half of this video. It's a different day. It's not 7 a.m. in the morning or 6 a.m. whenever I started it, but I just wanted to go over the pros, cons, who is this sandal for, and would I recommend them? Starting out with the pros and the things I like. So pro, the outsole is super grippy. It articulates well with all the little cracks in here in between the nubs. I'm a big fan of that. Works great in wet and dry conditions. The drainage holes work, and this outsole material definitely is holding up well where the laces are going through, Foot shape on this looks really good. It's a little bit straighter up through the medial side, so there isn't a big fan out like on some other sandals, but it works really well for this because of this instep and outstep wing right here. I'm a big fan of that design, and I really hope other companies have similar designs in the future because I think this works really well, and it fixes the issue that I have running in sandals, that is they want to twist underneath my foot. That could be some of my running style or my form, but it's nice that there's a sandal that I don't need to worry about that anymore. The footbed is definitely soft. Microfiber, I think, is an awesome material to use. It reminds me of leather, but it doesn't get as, and it performs well, so it doesn't get, when it's wet, it doesn't get super slippery like leather does. I haven't had any issues with hot spots or chafing, and that works great. You still get really good ground feel, even with that 7 millimeters of thickness. The laces are soft and they are secure. When you tighten them down, you can tighten these down really tight, and you shouldn't notice a big issue with blisters or hot spots, anything like that. They are a set it and forget it kind of sandal. So once you lace them and get them set up where you want, you're probably not going to be messing around with these too much. Next, let's get into the cons. One of the big cons with the outsole, because it's so grippy and partially because I run on pavement a lot, I wish this would hold up a little bit longer. I definitely have a lot of wear on the ball of my foot here and through the heel a little bit. I think if I was running on dirt trails, or I use these for more hiking purposes, things like that, I think it would be fine. And I still do have a lot of grip, but I'm just sad to watch the tread wear down so fast. I don't really have any gripes when it comes to the footbed. When the laces though, this is the one part that drives me a little bit nuts on the sandal. This heel strap just rides low. They don't fall off. They feel like they want to. Compared to all my sandals, these feel like they want to fall off the most, that heel strap. But if you can get used to that low riding heel strap, I think you'll be okay. I think this could be fixed if there was some rubber back here, if there was an extra beefy strap they could put on there, kind of like Shama has their Achilles armor, something like that. Or Nalu, if you're listening to this, if there could be a Velcro version of this where the heel strap was Velcro and the top or right here were all Velcro so you could quickly tighten them down, I think that would be a huge upgrade and be super cool to have, even if it was a little bit more weight. So those are really the big cons. Who do I think these are for? Definitely, if you're new to running in sandals, I think these would be a really good option. You get a good ground feel, you get good grip. I mean, there's not much else to say. That's everything you want. Also, they're not twisting on you. So if you've been running in sandals for a while and that's something that drives you a little bit nuts, or it's something that interests you, I think these would be a really good option to check out. So definitely for newbies or the seasoned runner, definitely both good options. Would I recommend them? I would, but with the caveat that you need to be prepared that you might need to tighten these down to what is past comfortable, and the heel strap might ride a little bit low. If those are two things that won't bother you, I think these could be a really good option. Okay, So that will do it for this video. If you've made it this far to the end, thank you. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll keep growing that channel. If you're one of the 100 that have subscribed, thank you. I appreciate it. More reviews coming soon and comparisons. Right now I want to compare the Nalu sandals with the Panta sandals. I'd also like to compare them with the Shamas and the Earth Runners. There's so many options right here. I do have a pair of Shama Chargers on their way with the regular, with their Ultra Grip footbed on the way, so I'll definitely be trying those because I do a lot of road running. I think they'll work better for that. I'd also like to expand the channel into doing reviews maybe of some other things like running jackets, apparel, that kind of thing, and maybe even doing some running events, you know, just dropping in and running a marathon after not really training for it and seeing what happens, or running in sandals, that kind of thing. If you're interested in that, let me know down in the comments. Also, have you tried Nalu sandals? Have you heard of them before? What are your thoughts on having a wing or not having a wing on your sandal? I'm curious. So that will be everything right now. Again, thank you so much and happy trails.